Alright, welcome to TEDxUEF 2022! Alright, good evening everyone. So, on the screen, I have two pictures. So what do they represent? So for picture A, it represents pressure. And picture B represents calmness. I believe that all of you have heard about pressure makes diamonds, right? But have you ever heard about calmness makes diamonds? So now first, how many of you think that pressure is, not a big problem and you can deal with it very easily? Please raise your hand. Oh, not so many. Oh, okay, I see. So, how many of you think that pressure is something terrible, something that makes you exhausted, frustrated, and even depressed? Please raise your hand. Now there are a lot of people. All right, thank you very much. So, some people are incredibly good at dealing with pressure, while others do not. Therefore, each person has a different resistance for pressure. But the point is, pressure is something that is very strong, intense, while calmness is something that is very light and gentle. So how can we shift pressure to calmness? So last semester, I had a chance to study social psychology, and there was one lesson that significantly appealed to me, which was the attribution theory. This theory allows people to learn about or to explain others' behavior. So there are two types of attribution. All right, so please, next slide. Okay. Yeah, so what? All right, so there are two types of attribution theory. So the first one is dispositional. Everyone, or we, assume a person does a behavior because of his nature or his personality. So for example, we assume a person who decides to give up because he has to deal with too much pressure. We assume him as a lazy and weak person. However, for the situational attribution, we assume a person does a behavior because of the factors surrounding him. That a person decides to give up to get away from the pressure, not because he himself is weak, but because of the working environment or the overwhelmed workload. So we tend to attribute one's behavior too much to his inner disposition that we discount important situational factors. So to deal with pressure, it's not that we have to bite off more than we can chew. It is that we have to be calm to deal with the pressure in a smart way. So my name is Phạm Ngọc Phương Thảo, and I'm a second-year student at the University of Economics and Finance. And yesterday was the day that my class and I ended the second year of university. And during that year, we had to meet numerous deadlines. We had to do lots of projects and assignments. We were all very busy. I don't know how you guys, but I love to be busy. Apart from studying, I also had 2 more part-time jobs, and I participated in many outdoor activities and competitions. So a few weeks ago, my friends and I attended the social psychology class, and the lecturer divided us into 3 groups and assigned each group to give a presentation in the following week about a chapter in a book. But the point was, the chapter in the textbook was more than 35 pages, so a lot, right? And then after that class, we attended another class, which was the cultural studies. And coincidentally, the lecturer in that class did the same as the lecturer in the social psychology. So overall, within 2 weeks, we had to do 2 presentations. We had to come up with ideas, we had to design PowerPoint slides, we had to do the rehearsal and so on. So I was very overwhelmed. I did create a very detailed timetable to follow or to control my study, but when I look at it, my mind was chaotic, like I just kind of stressed. And so I decided to put everything aside, and coincidentally, my boyfriend asked me to hang out with him. But it's just that we just had a very simple dinner. And then we went to Landmark 81, and then we went to the park in there, we sat down, and we chatted with each other for 3 hours. I want to repeat, for 3 hours. So right now, you may think that I was wasting my time by spending 3 hours hanging out with my boyfriend while I was still having a bunch of deadlines waiting for me at home. Well, actually, I wasn't. That I spent 3 hours going out was when I stopped and relaxed to find the calmness. And when I got back home, surprisingly, I felt relieved. And I took that feeling and started studying, doing the homework so productively. One of my friends, she was so stressed that she had to stay at home for 3 days, which means she didn't go to school for 3 days. So you may think it's just a little pressure of study. Why does she have to stay at home for 3 days? Doesn't she care about her study? Do you still remember the attribution theory that I told you guys earlier? Well, my friend is the type of person who is, she cannot deal with such heavy pressure, and about the external factors like the deadline, the projects, too much for her. That she stayed at home for 3 days was a good way for her to recover mentally. Instead of dealing with the pressure, she turned the pressure into calmness by giving herself some time to rest. So, if you are in a certain level of calmness and sweetness within you, your body and your intelligence will work at its best. Do you know the reason why I have a precious opportunity to stand here on this stage and share my own story for TEDxUEF? I started learning IELTS when I was 16. And since then, I came across TED Talk. I love all the speakers of TED Talk. I love their confidence, I love their story, I love their uniqueness. And I wish that one day I could be one of them to stand on the stage and share my own story. And so in November 2020, the FBT University cooperated with TED Talk to hold a competition called Got Something to Say. I participated in that competition, but I didn't win. And around October 2021, I decided to apply for the curator position for TEDxUEF to support the speakers to come up with the ideas for today's event, but I wasn't accepted. So after these 2 failures, I thought to myself, maybe there was no fate for me to be a part of TED Talk. And so somehow I started to believe this thought, and I reminded myself, when one door closes, another opens. So you have heard this sentence for numerous times, right? But have you truly felt how miraculous it is? It helped me to maintain the calmness in my mind and reduce the pressure of pushing myself too much to achieve what I want to achieve. It eased my mind by assuring me that no worries, an opportunity is waiting for you ahead. Keep moving forward. And so I left those 2 failures behind and calmly moved on. And in November 2021, I got the 3rd prize from a Dream Destination competition held by UEF and ERA Air Airline. And in February 2022, I participated in the UEF Speaker, the Inspirational Person, but I only made it to the semi-final. In March 2022, I made it to the top 20 of Speak to Inspire Vietnam debate competition. With all that success and failures, I have sacrificed to learn to earn the experiences with such a calmness in my mind. I don't need pressure to push myself. What I need to guide myself on a long journey is calmness. And what comes will come. In April 2022, TEDxUEF invited me to be one of the 6 guest speakers for today's event. And they chose me not because I was the champion or I had many academic achievements, but because of the experiences that I have. When I knew that I became the guest speaker, I was overjoyed. But at the same time, I felt that some pressure was flying around me. So in other competition, I could be very confident. I could be a little bit crazy. But today's event was a big one, and I don't want to be silly in front of you guys. And all 5 speakers sitting right here, you are all amazing with great knowledge, good English skills, huge confidence. And I'm just a normal second-year student. I'm not famous, I'm not an influencer. And I know that today's event is very special and maybe I want to wear something outstanding. So basically a lot of questions kept accumulating in my head. But then I wondered, why do I have to make it complicated? Why don't I just relax and enjoy every single moment of this journey, of this TEDxUEF journey? So the reason why that I make it complicated is because I excessively emphasize on having a perfect performance. Just forget about it. I shook all the nervousness and pressure off and had fun. So, I know that this event is very special, but I don't need to be too glamorous. Just be me, be myself, be simple. Show my uniqueness in my own story. That's why I don't want to wear a very long dress with sparkling on my body. That's why I bought this outfit on Facebook. It just cost maybe $200,000, 200 Vietnam dong. It's very cheap, but basically this outfit shows my personality. So basically, to end my speech, I want to tell you that life pressure is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. But instead of trying to push yourself to fight with it, why not try conducting your mind to find the calmness? When you are calm, you can calmly move forward and achieve what you aim. If you are not calm, then don't continue. Just stop and relax. No pressure does not mean that there is no pressure. It means that you reduce the pressure in your mind to set room for calmness, which enables you to shine from within and do your best. Thank you.